Greetings, Internet! I'm Danny Danger, and as you may or may not know, I have been eyeballs deep in Fables. It's the first time I've reread the series since the first time I read it, so I've got Fables on the brain. One of my most favorite things to do here as of late is fan cast my favorite comics. So, without further ado, who I think should play who in a Fables movie. This pen gives me the power of a literal. I wrote it down. These people literally have to play that Fables character. It's fact now. Obviously, the stars of the show are going to be Bigby and Snow White. One of my good friends suggested the perfect Bigby. Are you ready for it? Josh Brolin. I mean, come on. I did get quite a few suggestions for Norman Reedus as Bigby, which I thought was pretty interesting because I could see it happening. I just, I thought Josh Brolin was pretty spot on. I was also thinking about Snow White. Who would be a great Snow White? Who has that air of dignity and that sense of being on top of everything? Anne Hathaway, duh. Another absolute favorite Fables couple? Beauty and the Beast, of course. And who better to play the Beast than Liev Schreiber? That dude is huge. I mean, huge! He's perfect for Beast. As for Beauty, none other than Rachel McAdams. Picture the first scene where Beauty and the Beast are in Snow's office arguing, and Beast keeps shifting between human form and beast form because Beauty's mad at him. Oh my god, Rachel McAdams would nail it. Boy Blue was really hard to cast, but at the end I settled on Lucas Till. He played Havoc in the new X-Men movies. I thought he was kind of perfect. He's got those boyish good looks, but I think he could definitely put on the war face when the time came. Flycatcher? Okay, I saw this on the internet before I came up with this, and I think it's absolutely jaw-droppingly perfect. Ryan Gosling for Flycatcher. I mean, come on. Give him a couple of freckles here and there, put him in an orange jumpsuit and a hat. I mean, it's doable, right? Frau Totenkinder was one of the hardest characters to cast because I really wanted an actress who could hit that spot on. And a lot of names have been thrown out there, like, Maggie Smith, Helen Mirren, and while both of those actresses are incredibly talented, I would rather see someone use makeup to age up Jessica Lange. I mean, she's way too young to play Frau Totenkinder, and we all know that. However, that switch between, oh, I'm here to help you, and oh, I'm actually the maniacal brain that is running this whole show. Come on, that's Jessica Lange. I mean, down to a T. Anybody who's ever seen one episode of American Horror Story can attest to that. Geppetto was absolutely easy. The entire internet practically agrees with me. John Hurt. I mean, come on. Dude doesn't even need a haircut, no makeup, just put him on film. Speaking of general internet consensus, everybody's pretty sure that Jack Horner just hit his head, forgot who he is, and has been living in Hollywood as Josh Holloway for the last couple of years. So that was an easy cast. For our jovial mayor, King Cole, who better than Richard Griffiths? I mean, really, he's perfect. For Mr. North, I thought Jeff Bridges would be perfect, especially if Bigby is Josh Brolin. I mean, those two actually look like they could be father and son. Pinocchio was by far the hardest character to cast because in the book, he has sort of an adult-like face. However, he talks all the time about looking like a little boy and how he has a hard time in his romantic life because he looks like a little boy. So after jumping between, adult actors like Chris Pine, all the way down to younger child actors like Asa Butterfield, I settled on Will Poulter. I feel like the kid has a really good grasp of comedy, and I feel like he's got enough of a personality that he could totally pull off that gruff Pinocchio thing while still looking like a very young man who's not quite making it with the ladies. If Prince Charming looked any more like Matt Bomer, it would be creepy. I mean, just downright creepy. I'd really like to see Briar Rose, played by Amanda Seyfried. I think that she has that sort of angelic, sleeping, glowing vibe about her, not to mention that she's an amazing actress, and I love her face. Cinderella was one of the hardest characters to cast because on the one hand, she has to look like a total badass because she's a secret spy. But on the other hand, people aren't supposed to know she's a secret spy, so she's supposed to look like a spoiled, rotten, entitled owner of a high-fashion shoe store. So after much deliberation, trying to decide between, Kristen Bell, a few other actresses, I decided on Brittany Snow. Red Riding Hood was also a difficult character to cast because she's supposed to be innocent and really sweet, But for a while there, she's taken over by Baba Yaga, so she also has to be able to make that transfer between sweet and innocent and evil like that. Who better? Emma Roberts. Nailed it. Pulling once again from the American Horror Story pool of talent, I think that Taissa Farmiga would make an amazing Rapunzel. Rose Red is also difficult to cast because she goes through so many personality transformations during this story, and she has to look a little bit like Snow White because, hey, they're sisters. So after a lot of deliberation, I settled on Kate Mara. For Waylon Smith, I chose Ray Stevenson. Paul Giamatti is a dead ringer for Trusty John. I'd really like to see Chloe Grace Moretz play Ozma. I think she has the ability to look young and act very adult-like. Kay looks exactly like Daniel Radcliffe, and he's a talented enough actor that he could play someone who shoulders the burden of seeing all of the evils that anyone has ever done, and then scoops his own eyes out. There are a couple characters who would be played by voice actors. I think that Hank Azaria would do a great voice for Buffkin, and I love Hank Azaria. When I imagine Bagheera talking, I almost automatically put in the voice of Oded Fehr. Last but not least, I would like to see Rami Malek play Mowgli. So that was my very first fan casting. Are you guys excited? Tell me down below who you think would be great to play your favorite Fables characters. Pop on over to weird-girls.com and see more about what we do there. If you like this type of episode, hey, we'll do more. Let us know. Like this video, share, and subscribe. As always, a special thanks goes out to Austin Books and Comics. They've been helping me get all caught up on my Fables. I love it.